And our first guest this evening says stealing government secrets and then mishandling them amount to crimes. So is leaking classified material. Joining us tonight is Chris Farrell. He's the Director of Investigations and Research at Judicial Watch. Chris, good to have you with us. Let's start with 7 memoranda, 4 of which contained classified information. At this point, leaking one of them, it's unclear, although the Columbia law professor says that there was no classified information in it. The fact that they were leaked in itself is a priori. Is it not a violation of federal record-keeping laws?
It absolutely is. You have a case where Mr. Comey absconded with U.S. government records. They were not his to take in the first place. Secondly, he probably is in a position, as was Mrs. Clinton, violating Title 18 of the U.S. Code, Section 793F, which is mishandling national defense information. I know this because I'm also a former special agent of Army counterintelligence, and I've done investigations precisely like the open question here. So Mr. Comey's in trouble. He essentially flaunted the fact that he broke these rules and laws in his sworn testimony in front of the Senate. It's outrageous.
And as you listen to Senator Mark Warner there in Catherine Herridge's report, he sounds like a man working very hard to try to mitigate the circumstances of this event on behalf of the former FBI director.
You know, look, the then FBI director is in a private meeting discussing certain matters with the president. That right alone, right there, stop. The nature of that relationship and the communications that occurred, just by their essence, by the fact that it occurred itself, is 99% likely to be classified. It's not something that's going to be publicly discussed or openly acknowledged in the media, except when you have somebody like Comey who goes out and selectively leaks in order to damage the president.
Well, it's outrageous, no matter what else, the legal implications, whatever, for this man to have such grand illusions, if you will, of himself and his prerogatives is, to me, extraordinary for anyone responsible for a federal law enforcement and counterintelligence agency.
And then, Lou, get this. Just think about it. So he goes in front of the Senate and makes this testimony. He then leaks, or had leaked, through his friend to the New York Times. We ask for the same records, Judicial Watch does, and you don't know what we're told? No. And we have to sue to get them. So he can tell the Senate, he can leak it through his friend to the New York Times, but when we ask for it to explain to the American public what went on, we're told no, and we have to go to federal court to sue to get it.
And also the Senate Intelligence Committee itself has to, at the very least, I don't know if they've got them now, but ask for them and hope that apparently that the FBI director is feeling generous with his personal work product as he sees it, apparently. Not apparently, he said so, rather than a work product of the FBI director when he was having those conversations with the President of the United States. I mean, this is extraordinary. Let me turn to Hillary Clinton in this circumstance. Why are we not hearing from a special counsel that looking into this situation of Russian collusion? Why aren't we hearing from the special counsel about her dealings with the Russians, her approvals that impact actually reserves of U.S. uranium that resulted, in fact, a transfer to a Canadian company with her approval and a speech for $500,000 by the former president, Bill Clinton? Why isn't that part of the Russian collusion investigation?
Precisely. If you're looking for collusion, look at Uranium One, the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton's speaking lists of the various places he ran around the world, 247 speeches netting $48 million, each of them approved by Cheryl Mills, not a single speech denied. If you want to look at collusion and foreign influence and using the Secretary of State position as an arm of or as an adjunct of the Clinton Foundation, look no further. I mean, you could spend the next...
Well, I want to look further, though, Chris.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to look to John
but
Podesta. I want to look to the Jewel Company and $35 million that they received and Podesta's connection to that enterprise. Why isn't that part of the collusion discussion or investigation?
Podesta was very cute with your colleague Maria Bartiromo when he said, well, I don't have any stock in any Russian company. Well, no, his holdings are actually in the Massachusetts incorporated U.S. affiliate of that Russian company. So, you know, Podesta likes to play it both ways. He's deeply involved with these Russian activities and companies, millions of dollars. His brother as well is involved in consulting with Russian entities. But they like to play word games. They want to parse language. It's more disgraceful behavior.
Chris Farrell, thank you for being with us as always. We appreciate you and Judicial Watch and your inquiring ways. We hope that much more is produced on this Russian collusion. It seems like the special counsel has picked a very bad chronological starting point.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.